few decades after Operation High Jump, and long after Admiral Byrd had gone to Antarctica for the last time, a mysterious document called The Inner Earth, My Secret Diary was leaked to the public. And in that, we find a detailed account written by Admiral Byrd himself of his experiences with the hollow earth phenomenon on February 19th, 1947. Now, some believe that Byrd merely flew over the North Pole on that date, but the diary tells a much different story. It says that Byrd actually flew into the core of the Earth itself, traveling 1,700 miles over mountains, lakes, rivers, green vegetation, and animal life before he encountered something even more mysterious.
And you know it's real because all top secret documents are named My Secret Diary. Please don't read this. If you do, you're going to learn the truth.
Yeah. And it's all like, the problem is that, yes, at 11:30 hours, it starts with his trip through the inner hollow earth and the secret paradise there. But at 10:90 hours, he was just like, I wonder if Julie likes Bobby. But I look at Julie and I think, I like Julie. But then I watch Julie watching Bobby, and I get sad, because I think Julie likes Bobby.
She always does.
So this is from Admiral Byrd's secret diary, 11:30 hours.
Off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They're closing rapidly alongside. They are dish-shaped and have a radiant quality to them. They're close enough now to see the markings on them. It's a type of swastika.
A type of swastika, Ben.
What type? Isn't there just one type?
No.
There's many different types of swastikas. There's the regular swastika. There's the inverted swastika. There's the rigid swastika.
But it's all
There's
the
Comic
swastika.
Sans swastika.
It's like if you're laying down Marcus, you're still Marcus.
That is true, but
No, that's a type of Marcus.
Yeah,
The lay down Marcus?
Yeah, there's manic Marcus. There's depressive Marcus. There is drunk Marcus. There's angry Marcus. There's horny Marcus.
Ugh.
I don't like it. Is it all in that order? Is it always in that order?
I think it is.
Yeah. Manic, depressive, drunk, angry, horny.
All right. Well, you currently don't seem that manic, so you're depressive. So we've got to end this episode before he gets angry, because coming up after that, I got to get out of this room, Henry.
Yeah, before you get a horny Marcus, because he's gonna go around. He's got his nipple hands.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wait, you don't know. You guys are around horny Marcus a lot.
All right. Good God. You got to change the way your brain works.
Get at you with my tweakers. Stop calling your fingers your tweakers.
So, after he sees the swastika, Admiral Byrd's plane was stopped in midair. The controls were rendered completely useless, and then the craft started softly floating alongside the flying discs. This is his next entry, 11:35 hours.
Our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what perhaps has a slight Nordic or German accent. The message is, Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral. You are in good hands. Please put your plate and trays in the proper position. We are close. Please stop using your headphones.
At 11:45 hours, he says,
I'm making a hasty last entry in the flight log. Several men are approaching on foot toward our aircraft. They are tall, with blonde hair. In the distance, a large shimmering city pulsating with rainbow hues of color. I do not know what is going to happen now, but I see no signs of weapons on those approaching. I hear now a voice ordering me by name to open the cargo door. I comply.
It seems like a strange thing to do under pressure. Just start writing in your journal in real
It seems
time.
strange.
yeah. Well, it's the same thing on Star Trek. Like, on Next Generation,
On
when
the
they're
scripted television show that isn't
it's
real?
a fake show. That's a fake television.
Yeah, but no, it's based in reality, though.
Oh.
A quote-unquote...
No,
it's a quote-unquote show based in reality. right?
Well, I agree with the reality that there is racism, and that's why Worf isn't the goddamn man in control.
No, Worf isn't the man in control because he can't control his emotions, and he's wrong most of the time.
Well, I always liked him very much.
Yeah.
Now, is Worf supposed to be space Spanish?
Possibly, but we don't. That hasn't been confirmed.
And if you watch Deep Space Nine, sir, you will see that there is a black man in charge of the station.
Worf. I'm not saying that Worf is black. He's a whole nother race. He's a whole nother.
But the
species.
actor's black.
But we're talking about Worf.
I thought the actor was just painted brown.
No. Big black man.
Oh, right. We have to end the conversation because you guys aren't capable of discussing Worf outside of racial context.
So the humanoids who stopped Admiral Byrd, they were, by Byrd's descriptions, closely resembling the Nordic alien race.
He must have just went like, whew, when he saw them.
Yeah, that made them very close to who? The Aryans. They flew Byrd in ships they called Flugelrods to their leader, who called himself the Master. And he told Byrd that Byrd was in the domain of the Ariani, the inner world of the Earth.
Oh.
And he told Byrd that his job was to take a message to the government that atomic power was not meant for man. For this was soon after the Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombings. And that humanity should seize their use of atomic power. Also, there's a subterranean race of giants developed thousands of years beyond your race. Hello.
So it seems like we need nuclear energy more than ever to go blow them up.
Yeah, go kill him. So you're saying we gotta go kill him? That's what we gotta do. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You mean we got a bunch of free shit inside the Earth already? Let's go get it.
Let's get it.
It's
Yeah.
like, that's the problem. Have we learned nothing from the Native Americans at this point? Did they not get any word about what happens when Americans just show up to see a new place where there's a bunch of new fruit there and a bunch of people who don't believe in war? And you show up and you're like, huh, that's so funny. Huh? These guys are so nice, huh? I bet we could kill a bunch of them in, like, groups. Yeah.
I will say the Native Americans did have quite a few wars with themselves.
They did. They were not quite the peaceful people that the hippies would like them to be.
That's right.
I'm just going to say this. We killed them with blankets.
The Spanish did that.
Yeah, the Spanish did that. By the
We
time
get blamed for so much of what the Spanish did, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah. You know what, Ben? You're right.
I'm going to say another thing the Americans did to the Spanish is that we took their culture and we made Chipotle. So I will say that. We took the Spanish's diarrhea-making power and we amplified it up to 150 times what they ever could do.
So after reporting to the Pentagon and the president what he learned about the people underneath the earth, Byrd wrote this in his diary.
Now, just know I'm reading this in accordance to the font to which it is written.
Yes, and this is verbatim and also verfontum what was written in Admiral Byrd's diary. This is how he wrote it.
All right.
Verfontum. I am placed under strict control via the national security provisions of the United States of America. I am ordered to remain silent in regard to all that I have learned on behalf of humanity!
Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Well, I don't know why they didn't take him seriously. You got to let that guy right into the front door of the White House.
No, in an interesting little epilogue to Robert Byrd's story, his son... Oh, you know what? Here's the funny thing. This entire time, we've been saying Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd was the racist senator.
Yeah, that's what I kept. I would assume there's more people named Robert Byrd than one.
His name is Richard Byrd.
Richard Byrd.
Yeah,
okay.
but isn't it fun to think about Robert Byrd going to the Hollow Earth?
Oh, I do believe he's from it. Yeah.
So, Richard Byrd's son, Richard Byrd III, was found dead in an abandoned warehouse in Baltimore.
As are most people in Baltimore.
He was emaciated, covered in dirt, and missing a shoe.
That's heroin, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a Charlie Sheen thing. That sounds like a Charlie Sheen vacation.
So either he was walking and lost one shoe, and then just continued to wear the other one, or somebody stole a single shoe.
Oh, nothing that I like better than a sleeping man with one shoe. Because I'm going to take this one shoe away from him. I just like to see him sleeping there with just one shoe on. You know what I do? I get a little squirt on that shoeless foot right there.
Crooked Jimmy.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Jimmy, stop jerking off on that one-shoed man.
Well, you know what was weird, though? Is you know the last time he was seen?
When?
traveling to Washington, D.C. to attend a ceremony honoring his father.
And he had one shoe.
I think, because there's so many things to talk about, too. I also want to, put on, I think that the Richard Byrd story is the most interesting facts about Hollow Earth, because we're going to connect it right now deep into the heart of Nazi Germany. I want to again say, because we covered a lot with Dulce about the aliens living, I feel like that's already knowledge, that things that live inside this Earth are aliens, and they've been here for a long time, and they populated us here. Right, Marks?
Absolutely.
Right, Dog Meat?
Yeah.
You're making him angry. And if he gets horny, I swear to God, we're ending this podcast.
So let's get to the Vril. In 1871, a few years before Jules Verne's quote-unquote novel, Journey to the Center of the Earth, a man named Edward Bulwer Lytton wrote in another quote-unquote novel called Vril, The Power of the Coming Race. Now, the story follows a narrator who encounters the Vril Ya, a race of humans who fled the Great Flood, lost their way, and decided to stay in the caverns. Now, the narrator describes the Vril Ya as having huge wings that reach to their knees, like Hawkman, that allowed them to fly through the various tunnels of their subterranean world. They wore bejeweled tiaras and carried silver scepters made of polished steel, which were powerful enough to carve through rock.
This is how also Republicans view the future gay hell that we'll all live in.
It sounds like a hell of a place to live in.
It sounds
amazing.
It sounds pretty fun, yeah.
I want a scepter.
You'll get one. We can get you one. It's technically just a stick.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Technically, if anybody wants to make and send Ben a scepter, the address is the Creek in the Cave, care of Last Podcast on the Left, 1093 Jackson Avenue, Long
I would
Island.
say be careful, though. Don't send a weapon in the mail.
No, it's not a weapon. It's a scepter.
It's a scepter.
That would be 1093 Jackson Avenue, Long Island City, New York, 11101. Scepters for Ben.
And it would really mean a lot to me, and I'd use it every day.
Don't give him a scepter.
I think I should get a scepter.
Don't give him a scepter, because the last thing we need is for him to be able to be like, you stand there, and you stand there. That's what scepters are for.
Yeah, having him wrap it on the table.
Oh, it'd be perfect.
So the Vril Ya were masters of the Vril, which the Vril Ya claimed was the source of power that pervaded the entire universe, enabling them to influence the minds and bodies of others, and also gave them the ability to manipulate the weather. And
it's also known as, or ki, that the Chinese say, or prana, that the Indians say.
Yeah, or the Force, as George Lucas says.
Or nonsense, as Ben Gizzle said right now.
And about the Vril, the quote-unquote narrator of this quote-unquote novel, he said,
I pray that ages may yet elapse before they emerge unto sunlight, our inevitable destroyers. I have thought it my duty to my fellow men to place on record these fair warnings of the coming race.
And that goes out to your fellow men? Or?
Fellow men.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah. And you know who was able to see through the lines here? Who was able to read through the lines? As I was saying, just like, sometimes it's an occult, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
You know who answered this, hey, how are you?
Who?
Madame Helena Blavatsky.
God, I miss old saddlebags. Love seeing her out there. She got the body of Roseanne and the face of Abe Vigoda and the mind of Madame Helena Blavatsky.
Blavatsky.
She wrote about the mysterious power source in the book Isis Unveiled.
Sir E. Bulwer Lytton, in his coming race, describes it as the vril used by the subterranean populations and allowed his readers to take it for a fiction.
Yeah, you hear that?
Wow.
Allowed his readers to take it for a fiction. Now do you get it?
I got it. People read it, they didn't believe it.
No, they didn't
because
believe it.
the author
so he
allowed them to take it as
fiction.
He allowed them to take it as fiction. Yeah.
He wasn't like livid with the fact that they didn't believe any of his ideas.
No,
he didn't understand. Yeah,
allowed them to take it as fiction.
When they were laughing and reading the book, very similar to Tommy Wiseau, the director of The Room, who thought that he really made a classic masterpiece.
Yeah. You know what he said? I'll allow it.
He'll allow it.
Allow
Yeah,
it.
he'll allow people to laugh at his work.
Yeah.
Okay.
He allowed it.
Because of course
Like
that
we
is
do
it.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say we're a comedy podcast, but actually we're delivering very potent chunks of the truth, much like chunks of vitamin tablet inside of a bubble of water in a loser's basement.
Yes.
You know, of the believers that took the matters of Vril to heart, none were more ardent, more passionate, and more believing than a one Mr. Adolf Hitler.
And the one thing you'll say about him, the one thing he wasn't, was gullible.
So
He was open-minded, Henry.
when it came to the hollow earth theory, I think that he was a little bit too open-minded.
That's the thing. So you think that I guess Hitler was so open-minded that he was narrow-minded.
Yeah, it went full circle with this guy.
He came back around. Yeah. Really open-minded about some things, real closed-minded about others. But still kind of open-minded in being closed-minded.
Well, he was a painter.
He believed in himself.
Kind of.
So let's get now to, speaking of Adolf Hitler, speaking of Nazis, let's talk about the Vril Society.
Now, the Vril Society was kind of the hot chick version of the Tula Society, correct?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this was the other side of it. The Thule Society was, nerds like Heinrich Himmler, Dietrich Eckart, guys that, big fat Hermann Göring. Like, these people were not attractive.
No, the wedgie boys. The boys that deserve multiple
these are the
wedgies.
severe white nerds we talked about in the Nazis and the occult episodes.
Yeah. The super white nerds. And this is something that this is actually, right now, this is an extension of our Nazi occult episode. This is something we really wanted to get to on that episode, but didn't quite have time for. This is when we really get to talk about the Vril Society. And the Vril Society believes that the Aryans were not something that existed only in the past, but were in fact still living in the Earth's core.
Very
Now,
convenient.
I will, on this next chunk of information, I will cite my source on this one. This did come from Stormfront.
But I will say this, is that it's definitely not, wink, 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 definitely not bookmarked on a Marcus's, need to check every day websites. I believe that. I believe it when you say that you don't check Stormfront every day. I don't believe you have a username on Stormfront called Dogmeat477.
It's like people who listen to Howard Stern every day,
Stormfront makes Alex Jones look like MSNBC. Stormfront's one of the worst .coms on the internet.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I only go there for Nazi research.
That's the only reason to go there. That is exactly what they want you to be there for. That's the whole point of the website.
You say Nazi research, what they mean is Nazi appreciation. Kind of like how Pete Townsend said he was doing Naked Kid research instead of doing Naked Kid appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. Henry gets me. Too real.
I'm sorry,
Well, he was making it.
that I get you.
Yeah, he was
sad
making
that
it.
I've done this.
The lead singer of the Who, correct?
The guitarist of
the
the Who.
Who. Yeah, he's a pedophile.
Yeah. Except for what I'm doing isn't illegal. Not yet.
All right, so let's move on here.
Marcus, thought crimes, dog meat parts.
So one of the main characters involved in the Vril Society was a super hot Nazi named Maria Orsic.
Actually very hot.
Actually super hot. She created her own little circle of friends within the society called the Alldeutsche Gesellschaft für Metaphysik.
Which is mean old Germans for metaphysics.
Yeah.
Which is true.
And that was composed completely of young ladies who wore their hair in the horsetail style.
Ponytail. That's what they mean. It's a ponytail.
Horse.
They kept saying horsetail, and it's not a horsetail.
Well, yeah,
a ponytail's different from, ponytail, horsetail, they're all horses, Henry.
A horsetail, if I told my girlfriend that her hair was like, oh, I love that horsetail you got going on there, I get punched in the stomach because a horsetail, saying to a woman that having a horsetail implies that you are 300 pounds.
That's very true. And women don't like to be compared to horses, believe it or not. They don't like the extended face.
Yeah, but ponies, they're fine with ponies.
They don't like the big legs. They don't like the concept of their breasts as udders.
Right, they don't. And I know this for a fact. My friend Dave, we were at a bar one time in college, and he called a girl Seabiscuit. And then he got punched in the face.
Oh, yeah.
But Seabiscuit, she didn't understand he was calling her a winner. But, you know.
Dave is the guy you shat on his couch, right?
No, I never did that, so. Hollow Earth is more possible than what you just said, so let's just take that easy.
So the women of the Vril Society, of the Vril Gestalt.
No, this is great. They really did. They believed that their ponytails acted as cosmic antennae to communicate with aliens.
Yeah.
Through this hairstyle.
Good.
All right, so Maria was able to communicate with ancient Sumerians to receive technical data from the construction of a circular flying machine.
Yeah, that's right. Through her cosmic antenna horsetail.
Of course.
So, and the other medium in this society, he was known only as Zigrun.
Zigrun is a woman.
Yeah, Zigrun is a woman, and much like Madonna, goes only by one name.
Okay.
Yeah. Zigrun translated the mental images into blueprints, although because of funding problems, construction on this disc machine would not begin until 3 years later.
Now, the Vril Society was also started by a man named Reuben von Siebutendorf. There were two sides of the Vril Society. There was the dude side and there was the hot chick side. The dude side believed that they were going to go and try and find the substance called Vril. They believed that there was literally a goop called Vril that could control all reality deep in the center of the earth.
Yes,
The
much like
chicks on the other side were doing the fucking talking to aliens shit, trying to get all the plants for how to take us over to Antarctica, and it's all very complicated. And they also all fucked each other.
Well, I would
Quite
say
a bit.
in this situation, I would identify as a woman. I would have to go with Caitlyn Jenner's route, become a woman, fully transition, because it sounds like the chicks had a lot more fun.
Yeah, dude, because they were the ones going up into space.
Right.
The dudes were going down into the earth.
Just coal mining. Just the coal miners of the situation.
Yeah, Henry says that it's real complicated. I don't think so. I'm going to explain it to you guys right now, what these ladies were up to. See, in 1924, in November, Maria visited top Nazi Rudolf Hess in his apartment.
I remember when he won that reality show, America's Next Top Nazi.
America's Next Top Nazi, where it was just like, and they had that cool thing with the hot tub. That's like in a big place with the weird, like, martini, like lamps.
In Rudolf Hess's apartment, Maria used her psychic powers to contact one of the founders of the Nazi Party, Dietrich Eckart, from beyond the grave, for Dietrich had died 1 year later. Now, although the party started with Eckhart speaking through the young woman, Eckhart soon gave the control of the young woman over to a strange voice who claimed that he was a part of the Sumi, who were dwellers of a distant world which orbits the star Aldebaran in the constellation that we call Taurus the Bull.
All right.
You there? You with me so far?
I'm totally with
Right.
you, yeah.
So remember, there is an old German man speaking out of the mouth of a young, hot, blonde Nazi.
Right.
But also there's an alien in there.
Taurus the bull.
No. Taurus.
The constellation that's where they live.
That's where they live.
Aldebaran was in the constellation of Taurus.
Yeah. No, they're the Sumi. Those are the ones. That's the aliens that's speaking out.
Okay.
Yeah. So of course you may be asking right now how this race from the stars relates to what goes on in the Hollow Earth. Now remember, in the quote-unquote novel Vril, The Power of the Coming Race, Bulwer Lytton claimed that the Vril-Ya were a race of humans who fled the Great Flood, lost their way, and decided to stay in the caverns, while the voice, speaking through Dietrich Eckart's spirit out of Maria Orsich's mouth, told the Nazis that the Sumi had briefly colonized Earth 500 million years ago, and millennia later, there came a great flood, which the Sumis called the Upnapishtim, known to us as the Flood of Noah, and the survivors of this flood, according to the Sumi, hid underground and eventually became the ancestors of the Aryans. Fuck you.
Fuck everybody.
Wow.
The other idea too is that, like, if you look at this, this corresponds to the less racist versions of these stories as well, with the terms of the Anunnaki, the Indian race, the Hindu belief, and the flying ships that were put in the Bhagavad Gita. There's like all of this shit kind of connects into each other onto the same shit. Also, Taurus the Bull was connected to a thing called the Lords of the Black Stone, which was a secret society that existed in Germanic times in the 1600s, that were like a bunch of Teutonic guys that hung out, and they had a sigil sigil that was a Taurus with wings on it. And what do we learn about things that with wings on it in ancient pictures? It denotes the fact that they were flying.
Yeah.
So we're looking at is the fact that there is maybe a dramatic connection to alien life through Aldebaran and the continent where they live. The Sumi have been talking to Germans for a long time, and they've wanted white people to live and win for like 900 years.
Yeah.
Check out Heroes on NBC next Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever.
So decades after this weird little psychic party in 1943, a secret plan was hatched by Maria Sigrun Heinrich Himmler and Hitler himself to use the 7th generation of the flying saucer that they built using the earlier Sumerian plans way back in 1922. This was called Vril 7, and they were going to use this ship to travel through a dimensional channel to the star Aldebaran, where the Aryans originated. But
Mama, I'm coming home. That's what that song is about, actually.
Yeah.
But the flight ended in failure when the ship returned badly damaged, looking as if it had been traveling for hundreds of years. Bad dimensional rift there. The Nazis would not make actual physical contact with the Vrilya until 1937.